Welcome to the Doomed Planet Podcast, Season 3, Ecocide.
The real test of a power mower is starting it easily on the first pull. So Sears is putting 100 Craftsman Eager 1 mowers on the line. How many will start on the first pull? Incredible.
Hey, it's Alex, and welcome to the Doomed Planet Podcast, Episode 76, American Grassholes. A grasshole, obviously, is someone who lives in the suburbs. That's problematic already for many reasons. Who, instead of having native plants and like a diverse ecosystem in their yard, just has grass. Not only do they just have grass as a lawn, like almost a monoculture, but they have a gas-guzzling, polluting, lawn mower, maybe even a leaf blower. And, they have to drive their gas-guzzling car to the Home Depot or the Lowe's to buy their lawn products. And it'd be so easy. It's not labor-intensive to convert your lawn into a nice garden with a variety of plants, and that's going to attract beneficial insects and all the rest. And you probably have to put less work and less money into that than you do taking care of a pristine Hank Hill lawn. And I'm not sure what else I have to say about Grassholes, but we've got an exciting episode this time around. Uncle Grandpa and I are going to review the Impossible sausage. I noticed that, is it Beyond Meat or Impossible? One of those two is down 87% their stock this year. People realize that, it's better off they eat real meat because it actually tastes good. And it's unfortunate. I would love for some product to replace meat. And again, more problematic than anything, raising cows and they're burping up that methane and farting it out. It's a disaster. These factory farms just are the obviously corporate agriculture. It's really taken off. Instead of having this life cycle where you plant a crop, harvest it, then plant a different crop and maybe let your fields go for a year. And now you just have to dump chemicals and fertilizer on it just to, churn out profits. In the end, you're just churning out profits. Farming is not about feeding people anymore. It's about exploiting every last laborer and milking every last dime out of the food system. That's going to have to change. Radical depopulation of Earth. We might be discussing that in a future episode during this Ecocide series. That might solve some of the problems. I think more than half of all food is grown by giant corporations. Then half is still the yeoman farmer. Well, not the yeoman, but the peasant farmer working a plot of land to feed his family and to sell and trade fruits and vegetables. I think the suburbs are what brought us Trump and Biden. This whole concept of every man needs to be a king of his own castle and live in his own house. It sort of breaks up families. I mean, where does grandma end up going? In the old days, she'd be living on the farm with you or in the city, and now she's warehoused away in some god-awful nursing home that more likely than not is also owned by a giant corporation concerned with the bottom line, which means squeezing more labor out of overworked employees and trying to pay them less. And the result is needless death. Let's just say that. Our for-profit corporate healthcare system is a machine of needless death, especially during the pandemic. And even the nonprofit hospitals with nonprofit status, many of them are Catholic hospitals, so there's problematic, women's rights issues there, where they're declining to do some procedures because of their religion. And also, they're still allowed to sue you for unpaid medical bills. That doesn't seem right. If you're a nonprofit with tax-free status, it seems sick. Now, there's a lady around here who's president of the Hospital Association, appears on TV a lot, and I like to call her the propaganda minister for our corporate for-profit system of needless death. And incredible, she'll get on TV and not just with a straight face, but smiling on the TV news will say, or said during the pandemic when resources were tight, try not to get sick, haha, we're dealing with COVID. I wonder if like a Medicare for all type of system would have been better prepared for the pandemic. I wonder. So we're in this cycle of using plastic, throwing it out. It's going to last thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. Turning into, it degrades into microplastics that gets in everything. It's even crossing the blood-brain barrier in animals and humans. We nuked those 2 cities in Japan. That's basically the era we're in now. It started on that when that first nuke hit. And, you know, what I was taught in school, what we were taught is, well, we didn't want it. We were going to lose millions of more lives in the Pacific Theater. We had to nuke Japan. No, that's a lie. They were on the verge of surrender. We had bombed them out of existence. We bombed Germany and Japan into rubble. And we nuked Japan as a threat to the Ruskies. And boy, how that has come full circle. So think of the big picture, people, and then think, why do I have this lawn? Why? Okay, I've got a puppy, I've got a child. Sure, have a patch of lawn in the back or something, but these big, huge lawns, and you're sitting there on a riding mower, it's just pumping out gas and noise pollution. It's sick.
Remember why you moved to the suburbs? Lots of fresh air, a big lawn for the family, plenty of room to enjoy the good life. But what about time to enjoy that good life? Has that big lawn got you tied down like a cook in an all-night diner?
And now, bad decisions.
I think Mark Hamill, the Star Wars guy, a liberal darling of Twitter, you know, people that claim to be left or progressive and that aren't, to me, they're far worse because they're bigger liars than, say, right-wing people. And Hamill went all in on this pro-Ukraine propaganda stuff. He posted a poster where there's a little Federation X-Wing or whatever the fighter is. I don't know Star Wars that well, facing off against the Death Star. And, of course, the little ship is the Ukraine colors and the Death Star is Russia. Because, of course, this is a cut and dried thing where it's pure good against pure evil. So he's doing Twitter exchanges with that weasel Zelensky, that corrupt weasel, the short guy who wears T-shirts a size too small for him so it looks like he works out more than he does. Mark, I think if this ends in nuclear Armageddon, you're going to be thinking you made a bad decision cheerleading for this war. I love how the Biden administration, Blinken, Secretary of State, they're not even pretending. They're not even saying we need to sit down. We need to have talks. It's just unbelievable, bro. Mark Hamill, chud. Here's another bad decision. 3 arrested after child found in cage in Hocking County home. This is from the Athens Messenger, the paper I used to deliver as a child. And again, all cops are liars and bastards, and you can't trust a word they say. But according to the Hocking County Sheriff's Office, they arrested 3 people after investigators allegedly found a toddler caged in a crib. Ella Webb, 61, Franklin T.J. Varney, 38, and Megan Smith, 25, all of Logan, are facing charges of child endangerment. On Sunday, September 18th, according to the sheriff's Facebook page, They executed a search warrant at a residence on Bear Run Road in connection with a sexual assault investigation. When law enforcement personnel entered the residence, which they said was in deplorable condition, they allegedly found a 3-year-old child secured inside a cage, apparently a crib with a folding gate on top, judging by published news photos, which was secured with zip ties. The enclosure was filled with bugs, soiled bedding, and a cup full of spoiled milk. A 2-year-old was also found walking around the residence holding a methamphetamine pipe, the report alleges. Varney and Smith fled the residence. The grandmother, Webb, the grandmother of the children who has custody, was taken into custody herself. 2 toddlers, so sick. But again, what we have here, cops are liars, but we also have the abject poverty of, Bill Clinton, Reagan, and then Bill Clinton's NAFTA, sending any good working class jobs in Ohio overseas and leaving no social safety net. And so the people turn to drugs and they put their babies in cages. Speaking of babies in cages, I want to give a shout out to Skillet. He does a lot of the music for the podcast. And unfortunately, he killed himself a couple years ago. He had an abusive childhood and he grew up to be a great guy, and then drugs and mental illness got the best of him. Here's to you, Skillet. Okay, for our obituaries this time, we have Robert Toll, home developer who redefined suburbs, dies at 81. Too young. Speaking of Grassholes, the subheadline here, he used some of his wealth for philanthropy, including covering school costs for students from elementary to college. You might have heard of the Toll brothers back during the last financial crisis. They're builders of McMansions. So their business plan is to find a farm or a forest, pave it over, and build big, ugly suburban homes. The Toll brothers, this is from the Washington Post, home builders that transformed rural tracts across the country into planned communities of expansive houses and multi-acre lots. But they also faced resistance from preservationists. Yeah, so the Toll brothers, incredible Grassholes. Started in 1967. This is the baby boomer story. Again, if you are not a stone junkie or drop dead drunk and you're white in the 60s, you can pretty much write your own ticket and do what you want. Became incredibly rich. That's where the term McMansion comes from. And where is this guy going? Is he going up to heaven or down below? We'll never know till we get there ourselves. And if this Ukraine situation isn't worked out, that's probably happening to all of us sooner than later.
Hey, what about Major Kong?
It feels like I've covered this grasshole theme in like every episode of this podcast, so we'll move on to our review of the Impossible Sausage. It's like during the pandemic when everything was shut down, after a couple months, the soccer field near our house was unmowed by the city, right? And instead of being, monoculture, we need soccer fields. All these beautiful plants and flowers grew up there. It was incredible. And that's so, nature is resilient. It's going to be hard for nature to fight the plastics that since World War II have, destroyed our environment. It's going to be hard for nature to overcome a nuke catastrophe, but, things will survive. Like I reiterate here over and over, tardigrades will survive, at least. This is from The Guardian. Animal populations experience average decline of almost 70% since 1970. Huge scale of human-driven loss of species demands urgent action, say world's leading scientists. The least you can do is like diversify the plants in your yard, you chuds. Come on. At least you can say you did something. Okay, speaking of grassholes, my better half asked me to cook up some impossible sausage. It's vile. Feeling it in between your fingers is greasy and lumpy. I'm cooking it and like some oil is coming out. And the Impossible Burger, I understand cows are bad. Meat culture is bad. Impossible Burger is vile. You smell the raw, uncooked Impossible Burger. It smells fecal. It's disgusting. Is it better than the old days when your vegan friend would come and slap one of those old-time veggie burgers onto the grill and it was just like a mound of oats and grain in the shape of a burger patty? No, this is worse. Now, the Impossible Sausage, it smelled okay. Now that I'm cooking it, it smells vile. This is disgusting. So it's one of those, this is a corporate solution to... I know Bill Gates was an early investor. This doesn't solve our problems. People want to eat good things, and this is not good. It's not a substitute for anything. I guess we're going to cook this down so it's like crumbly ground sausage, and if you smothered it in spices and stuff, it would be okay. So the people that invented the Impossible Burger, especially the investors like Gates, Grassholes.
And now a word from our sponsor.
B5O
Come on, you guys. It's only a little.
A hungry giant! Hungry for a big honey taste.
Big taste, honeycomb, big taste.
Honeycomb taste! Yeah, yeah, yeah! It's not small. No, no, no! Honeycomb's got a big honey taste. Big, big crunch or a big, big bite.
Honeycomb cereal. Part of this big, complete breakfast.
Honeycomb's a big, big bite. Yeah!
Okay, we are going to do a taste test of our cooked, obviously. Hold on. Uncle Grandpa is going to test the Impossible Sausage. I've cooked it into like crumbles, and it's, a little caramelized, a little browning. What is it? Does it smell good?
Yeah, let me smell it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it smells like meat.
Okay.
Sausage. It smells like sausage.
I looked at the ingredients list. Do you want to know that, or you just want to taste it?
Do it. Okay. After I do it, okay? No, it really does taste like sausage. And if you had this in a spaghetti sauce with some mushrooms, onions, you wouldn't know. You just wouldn't. Can I do it again? Can I have it?
Yeah, now come to think of it, I think earlier I was being delusional and I was saying there's a lot of spices in this, right?
There are a lot of
And I was thinking, well, you wouldn't buy ground beef with spices. No, this is sausage. That's what a sausage is.
Yeah.
Ground meat with stuff in it, and then you make it in. Yeah.
Garlic, Yeah.
Well, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, go ahead. What
The
do you think of the texture?
The texture is off.
It's off. The texture's off. But like
It doesn't get crispy.
If it's okay, but if it was in a sauce,
If it was in a sauce, it would be mush without
you'd get
crispy.
mushy, but you would still think it was meat. You would. You could fool a person with this.
It tastes off to me. Try another. Try another piece.
All right. The taste, it does really taste like sausage. It's quite spicy.
It is spicy, very peppery.
But that texture that's a bit off. That's like, what kind of meat is this?
If I browned up some crumbled sausage, it would have that it looks browned, but it's not crispy.
It does.
So there's no layer, like a nice little crackly layer. It's just mush.
I really think you could fool somebody with this. I really do. But that's what you would be doing. You'd be fooling them.
Just in a marinara sauce?
Yeah, marinara with mushrooms. You'd really want to have the mushrooms in there with them.
I guess if you had other stuff and other textures in there.
I would do it. I would do it, and I think that a person would, if they ate it, they wouldn't say anything about it. They would just think it was meat.
A normal person?
Yeah, most people.
You think like a chef or a food person would think that?
Chase it with one of these. Well, a chef. No, I'm not
No, I don't know. I'm surprised, Uncle Grandpa, that you like it at all.
No, I do. No, it's okay. It's okay. And
actually, I think what about some eggs? Fried egg in there, and that on the side, and some potatoes.
So now, tell me, what is it really?
It is Impossible sausage, and the ingredient. There's a long list of ingredients: garlic powder, pepper. It's not. Oh, you think it's real?
Yeah.
No, I have the package.
No, well, can you show it to me?
Yeah, come on.
And now a word from our sponsor.
I'm here to announce the latest addition to the Impossible family, Impossible Pork. The launch of pork is a pivotal moment for us for at least a couple of reasons. First, it's the second completely new product that we're launching. Beef is popular around the world, but in many cultures, the most popular and familiar and common dishes use pork as the main source of meat.
Okay, we're going to get the package out of the trash. Here we go. Right. Impossible sausage. I didn't trick you. That's what it is.
No, I know. Well, you told me ahead of time.
Yeah, so some garbage. Look, oil and water.
Soy protein concentrate, sunflower oil, coconut oil.
I'll give you $10 if you can pronounce everything correctly.
You mean like methylcellulose? Salt, yeast extract, natural flavors, cultured dextrose, food starch, modified, dehydrated onion, dehydrated garlic. That's the spiciness right there. Citric acid, spices, crushed red pepper, cayenne pepper, soy leg hemoglobin.
You owe me $10.
Mixed taco ferols.
Mixed taco ferols?
Taco. Yeah, taco ferols.
Also ferols, but yeah.
Soy protein isolate. Zinc gluconate. Niacin. Oh, it's just.
So why, now that you've read that, you're liking less?
Oh, yeah.
It's oil and soybeans.
Ew.
Wash your hands. He touched an open package of that. Just wash your hands. Would you buy that instead of sausage?
No, I'm a meat eater. Come on.
Hey, what?
Okay, but if I had company that was a vegetarian or vegan, I would do that. I would say, I'm going to make you a special marinara sauce.
It's a nice gesture.
Yeah. And I think we would all enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, you'd make other people eat it too, meat eaters. All right, should we let the dogs try it? First up, we have Ralphie. I don't want to give him too big of a piece. Sit. Oh, see, if you're giving him a treat and they are excited about it, you can tell they're very excited. Okay, and then Bartina. Ooh, it bounced off his head and Ralphie got it. Bartina. Okay, now we got a really fussy little tiny dog here. Oh, yeah. She liked it. We're going to save that. And yeah, great. You should be on the podcast every week, and I'm shutting it off.
Podcast shout out.
Shout outs this episode to, again, for the millionth time, Mechanical Freak, the podcast, formerly known as Seattle Sucks. Just three great guys who are super smart, talking about history and politics. Their latest episode, Swag Equity Part 3, talks about trying to find the connection between the buyout of PetSmart and America's nursing homes. and by private equity. And yeah, private equity, vampires that produce no value for society. They basically get loans to buy corporations, and then they strip them and dismantle them and take whatever money they can squeeze out of them, even if it means destroying them. And it often, if not always, means destroying jobs. And of course, private equity firms are buying nursing homes, which is unfortunate. I mean, what does that mean? Oh, they put the squeeze on labor. There's a study came out recently. Nursing homes purchased by private equity firms saw staggering increases in death. And of course, PetSmart, I guess that was purchased by private equity recently. It's a animal prison. I do have on my list that we're going to do a dogged by the pet industry episode. Not sure about that, but imagine if a private equity firm buys out your chain of pet stores. What are they going to do? Are they going to start feeding and caring for the animals more? Are they going to cut prices? So it's a doom spiral, people, this whole capitalist thing. It's not working out. Everyone can see that now. Even 10 years ago, most people didn't. That was not in their vocabulary, capitalism. Now it is. Even if you're a right-wing chud, you know what it is, and you secretly know it's bad, even if it benefits you because you're a Republican that owns like the jet ski place out on Route 9 and you make $300,000 a year, enough to buy NFL tickets for your family.
Garden tractors, riding mowers, and walk-behind mowers, tillers, and snow throwers.
Before our current crop of cartoonishly evil billionaires, there was J. Paul Getty, the richest man in the world by far at the time. And he's a bad person. I know there's a movie. I haven't seen that. I looked briefly through some old-timey. And speaking of Grassholes, I mean, he made his fortune from oil. How is that not evil? Looking back now, especially. 1958, Evening Star, poem by Getty's son, 12, is read at his funeral. And of course, his dad was unable to attend the funeral because, I don't know, the richest man in the world doesn't know how to get on a freaking airplane. You have 6 kids, J. Paul Getty, with 6 different women, or 8 kids with 6 women. I don't know. He's not a huge feminist. Just one more newspaper clip. This is from the Washington Times, 1935. Spanish write all Greek to bride. Mrs. Helen Ann Rourke Getty doesn't understand Spanish, and as a result, today she isn't sure whether she was actually married to Jean-Paul Getty, oil millionaire. Testifying in connection with her divorce suit against Mr. Getty, she's asking a receiver for his vast holdings in order to ensure her ability to collect alimony of $4,500 a month. That is a hell of a lot in 1935. But really couch change for Getty. They were married at Cuernavaca, Mexico in 1932. I don't know what happened there. It was all in Spanish, which I don't understand, and I trusted Mr. Getty. The couple was first married in New York in 1931 in a ceremony that was neither religious nor civil, Mrs. Getty declared. Double entendre there. She added that the oil magnate objected to paying the $2 license fee. So, yeah, he was a cheap bastard. And those stories about him being a cheap bastard are all true, especially the one about his grandson was kidnapped and by Italian terrorists, and they cut off his ear and sent it just to, say they were serious. And he hemmed and hawed and at first was reluctant to hand over any ransom money. And that comes to funny. I always get lyrics wrong. Luckily, the internet has changed that. But there's this Aerosmith song, Last Child. And I always thought that they were singing about a J. Paul Getty disease. But it turns out they weren't. So I brought in a spoken word expert, Gerben Blandisdorf. And he's going to read some lyrics from that Aerosmith song so we can clear this up.
Take me back to a South Tallahassee, down across the bridge to my sweet sassafrasy. Can't stand up on my feet in the city. Got to get back to the real nitty-gritty. Yes, sir, no, sir, don't come close to my home sweet home. Can't catch no dose of my hot-tail poontang sweetheart, sweat hog ready to make a silk purse from a J. Paul Getty and his ear, with her face in her beer. Home, sweet home.
Find out more at doomedplanet.com. Goodbye.
5, 6, 7, 8. Goodbye. This is the end of the song.